Dun dun dun! Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be covering some cryptocurrency market drama between two of the largest players in the industry. One of the Winklevoss twins, I think it's Cameron, and Mr. Silbert, who is responsible for Grayscale, and of course Genesis Trading, which was Gemini offered an earn program, which is the Winklevoss's exchange. And that earn program was facilitated through Genesis Trading, which of course got caught up in the whole FTX issue. Let's not call it an issue. Let's call it what it was. Scam. Downright Ponzi. I'm going to end up punching walls in a minute. No, I'm joking. I haven't done that in a hell of a long time. But let's only when I lose trades. No, I'm joking. Let's get into it. Let's unpack it all. Let's go over actually what's happening here, what sparked this. And I think the real concern here is people are now looking and they're going, oh, Gemini in trouble? Is this another exchange that's in trouble and another domino to fall in the crypto space? And oh, well, does that mean that Barry's Greyscale, which is trading at a massive discount, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk a little bit about how Grayscale works and really just unpack this entire situation and give some clarity on it. I think there's a lot of people, and I want to say this from the outset, that really wish the worst for the cryptocurrency market. And I've got a message for you. Go and crawl back into whatever crevice it is you came out of. Because we have been majority cash all last year. I would love nothing more than cheap crypto prices, but I'm not willing to FUD the industry. It's why we've defended Binance. We actually have came out and gave a million, or not a million and one, a number of videos, even though it's unpopular and people go, oh, you don't like decentralization, all this stuff, not even understanding that there is a place for centralization in the argument that they levy. But we've actually came out and valiantly defended Binance, said, actually, we've got funds on Binance. We don't have an issue with Binance, and we think that they're going to survive. And we think a lot of what's going on at the moment is people trying to enrich their own lives because they are clearly at that low point in terms of frequency by FUDding the entire crypto space. And I think there's an element of that involved with this, people looking at Grayscale and all this sort of stuff. Grayscale are SEC regulated. They use Coinbase as a custodian, and Coinbase has a very good insurance on that custodial service that they offer Grayscale. So I don't necessarily think Grayscale's in trouble. However, if Grayscale were to fall, or indeed Gemini, which had a huge problem with the Gemini Earn program, which was as a fault of Genesis Trading, which Barry Silbert was a part of. I'm not really that familiar with Barry Silbert. I knew he created Grayscale, but I tend to not listen to people that are involved in the crypto space because it's such a new industry that people can just pop up and all of a sudden get like hundreds of thousands of followers and they don't have a bloody clue what they're talking about. They don't understand a damn thing. I'm more interested in talking to the builders of the space, and from a technical and financial investment trading point of view, I'm more interested in talking to the people who I know do that, the real traders and investors, not people on YouTube and people that are first in the cryptocurrency space and have got exchanges and stuff like that just can say what they want, and because of where they are and the position they've got, get some sort of credibility as a result of it. Or even worse, people that have 100,000 Twitter followers, and that makes them smart. It gives them some sort of a credibility. Let me tell you guys, I have peered and know a lot of those influencers. It's just one of the fakest things ever. But anyway, neither here nor there, guys. I'm going on a bit of a rant today. It's because it's annoying me what I'm seeing. But let's unpack it. So this was all essentially kicked off from a tweet from Cameron Winklevoss. And we'll go ahead and read the tweet. I'll go ahead and remove my beautiful face. And then we'll unpack it and we'll get into everything. And we'll look at Barry's replies, because I think it's sad. This came out on the 2nd of January. I think it's sad when they take to Twitter. They're obviously doing it as some sort of like an attack. And for me, it's just lame. So lame that they do this sort of stuff. But essentially, the letter reads, an open letter to Barry Silbert. Barry Silbert today marks 47 days since Genesis halted withdrawals. I am writing on behalf of more than 340,000 Earn users who are looking for answers. These users aren't just numbers on the spreadsheet. They are real people. A single mom who lent her son's educational money to you. A father who lent his son's bar mitzvah money to you. A husband and wife who lent their life savings to you. A school teacher who lent their children's. So it's basically really stressing the point here. It talks about a policeman and so many more. Altogether, these people entrusted more than $900 million of their assets to you. You deserve concrete, or they deserve concrete answers, and we are here to get them. For the past 6 weeks, we have done everything we can to engage with you in a good faith and collaborate and in a collaborative manner in order to reach a consensus resolution for you to pay back the $900 million that you owe while helping you preserve your business. We appreciate that there are startup costs and startup costs to restructuring, and at the time things don't go as fast as we would like. However, it has now become clear that you have been engaging in bad faith stall tactics. So, obviously, through Gemini, which is Cameron Winklevoss Exchange, you could access, it's kind of like Binance Earn, all these earn programs. But they entrusted Genesis Trading to do so, who obviously leveraged up. Blah, 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 blah. This is what I mean about these idiots. I'm not calling Barry Silbert an idiot. I can't really speak. But there's many of them out there who are idiots, who essentially, people trust them with $900 million. And then it turns out that they're just running complete Ponzi-nomics and they don't understand markets or anything to do with, with it. And they halted withdrawals. Gemini's customers, and it's only the earn program. Remember, Gemini Exchange still works, but the issue kind of here is, and I think you've got a lot of people on the back of this saying, okay, well, this means Gemini is going to fall. The issue really is that, $900 million of people's funds are now missing. I also do question, when I hear that people put their life savings into Gemini Earn and all this stuff, I understand that you think it's institution is safe, but let this all be a lesson, guys. I've gone broke a few times. In 2018, it was actually no fault of my own. Well, it was and it wasn't, because I made the investments, but I had exchanges. Cryptopia blew up on me and everything. I've been around, guys. I had many friends that were involved with BitConnect, and it was just not a great time. But I'll read on. We'll get through this. We'll look at the replies, and then we'll dive into it a little bit more. This is just giving you clarity. So much FUD out there. People just want clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. We are on a crusade this year. We are waving, not wavering, the saber of truth and holding the goblet of morality for the crypto space. So, for example, on December the 2nd, we expressed our beliefs that getting everyone in a room together as soon as possible will be the most productive path forwards, reaching a resolution. You agreed, but stated you would only do so after there was a proposal on the table. On December the 17th, a proposal was delivered to you. On December the 25th, Christmas Day, an updated version of the proposal was delivered to you. Don't send stuff on Christmas, guys. Despite this, you continue to refuse to get into a room with us, hash out a resolution. In addition, you continued to refuse to agree to a timeline with key milestones. Every time we asked you for tangible engagement, you hid behind lawyers, investment bankers, and process. After 6 weeks, your behavior is not only completely unacceptable, it is unconceivable, unconscionable. The idea in your head that you can quietly hide in your ivory tower and that this will all just magically go away, or that this is someone else's problem, is pure fantasy. To be clear, this mess is entirely of your own making. He is responsible, by the way, for people losing money, and he needs to be held accountable, Barry Silbert, or whatever the hell he's called. Is this the guy that was twerking on Up Only? It may be, or I may have him confused with somebody else. That's irrelevant. So we read on. Digital Currency Group, DCG, of which you are the founder and CEO, owes Genisis, its wholly owned subsidiary, $1.675 billion. This is the money that Genesis owes to earn users and other creditors. You took this money, the money of school teachers, to fuel greedy share buybacks, illiquid venture investments, and kamikaze Greyscale NAV trades that ballooned the fee generated AUM of your trust, all at the expense of creditors. There is a need for decentralization, by the way, guys. I'm not in favor of centralization over decentralization, but what I am saying is centralization plays a role, but with trusted parties like potentially Binance. I don't have an issue with Binance, but then again, I could be wrong. So make your own mind up, guys. This is what this channel is all about, informing you guys to make your own decisions. To few agree, blah, 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 blah. So we'll move on to the last one. It's not lost on us that you started your career as a bankruptcy restructuring associate. Wow. So these guys all have seedy little financial backgrounds. And it's not lost to us that you've been working desperately to try and firewall DCG from the problems that you created at Genesis. You should dispense with this fiction, because we all know what you know. The DCG and Genesis are beyond solvency and coming back together. Everyone takes orders from you and always has, and anything you have done after the fact to pretend otherwise won't hold up. If instead you had put all the energy towards finding a resolution, which these guys don't do, they only care about their own skin, guys, we would have been done by now. Everyone would be in a better place, including you. The next one, I promise, last one, guys, and then you don't have to listen to me painfully try and read. Earn users are tired, they're scared, many are in dire straits, of course, and yet, despite all they have had to endure, they have been remarkably patient and supportive, but there is only so much more they can take. They deserve resolution for a recovery of their assets lent to you, and ending this nightmare. To that end, and for the final time, we ask you publicly to basically. So this is, in my opinion, a last ditch effort, and this, of course, is forgive me, guys. This is Barry's reply. But this is a last-ditch effort to basically get this guy to respond. And he goes on to say, this is his reply, as cocky as can be. DCD did not borrow $1.67 billion from Genesis. DCD has never missed an interest payment to Genesis and is currently on all loan outstanding. Next loan maturity is May 2023. He's hoping the price goes up by then, I bet. DCG delivered to Genesis and your advisory a proposal on December 9th. So he's saying this, and Cameron Winklevoss is coming out and saying, there you go again. Stop trying to pretend that you and DCG are innocent bystanders and had nothing to do with creating this mess. It's completely disingenuous. So how does GCC owe Genesis 1.7 if it didn't borrow the money? Oh, right. That's promissory note. And then he goes to say, will you or won't you commit to solving this problem? So there's not really much clarity here, but basically, the issue is that this individual is the parent of Greyscale, Genesis. Is that not supposed to say partner? Also, the founder and co-founder of DCG. There's a lot that kind of would get wrapped into this if he falls and his industry falls. I can't comment on this guy. I don't really know who he is. All I know is I've obviously followed Greyscale. Greyscale's Gbtc is trading at a low. When liquidity gets tight like this, dominoes start to fall, and we've seen that, and we'll probably see more of it if the price continues to go down, which we think there's going to be a capitulatory event for all markets, but we are working on our crypto strategy pretty accurately. So Gemini's Winklevoss twins accuses mogul suburb of bad faith and stalling tactics. Genesis DCG loans leads to class action arbitration case from Genesis clients. This is the thing. So obviously somebody thinks that somebody owes money. Maybe that money isn't there. Maybe it is. And if those funds are paid back, well, would that then liquidate another company? And is this going to have any kind of an effect on Greyscale? Greyscale refuses to share proof of reserves due to security concerns as shares trade. So this is also going on with Greyscale. This was at the end of last year. I don't know how they can refuse to share them, because surely they have to file to the SEC. So I think there's a bit of FUD here in FUDing Greyscale. Greyscale's in trouble though, guys. Bring up Bitcoin in comparison with Greyscale. You know, you can see Greyscale's at a significant discount to Bitcoin. 46% discount. What have they got it at here? 45. Yeah, get rid of the... have I got any amount here? I do, but I don't know where it's gone. Anyway, neither here nor there. So this is at a huge discount. If Greyscale went under, for whatever reason, if this is a part of it and maybe a cascade, which we don't know it is, this is just Cameron Winklevoss calling out what he thinks is bad sportsmanship for this individual. We have no clarity on Genesis, by the way. I know people that are personally involved in that. We don't. You know, I keep all my Patreons on the right side of the market. I try and keep you guys on the right side of the market as best I can. But I obviously can't financially advise people. But yeah, so there's not a massive amount of clarity. So the short and curlies of it is Grayscale's Gemini earn program was ran by Genesis Trading. Genesis Trading got caught up in FTX and, of course, halted withdrawals and are trying to come up with a resolution for this. Essentially, Cameron Winklevoss is peed off and he's saying, look, let's resolve this. Let's try and get these users the fund back. He doesn't seem to be interacting. The problem is if he doesn't have the funds or if he's forced to pay the funds, there's a lawsuit that bankrupts him. Is that going to have knock-on effects with the likes of Grayscale and a number of other things? Grayscale have a hell of a lot of Bitcoin. How much Grayscale did Bitcoin have, by the way? Let me try and find this. So Grayscale holds around about 635,000 Bitcoin. Just to give you a value on that, if they were to liquidate and that was to become sold and so on and so forth, which I'm not calling for, but I'm saying that, you know, if this is a situation, I'll be watching like a hawk, guys, and reporting to you guys on as much as possible. So is that right? Yes, it is. That's good, isn't it? Probably my computer being slow, but it's a hell of a lot of money. Let's see if we can pull this up again. You're talking about 10.7 billion. It's a lot of money, guys, if that was to happen. I'm not saying it will. I don't think that it will, but I'm saying this is a situation you need to monitor closely. That would be the capitulation for the crypto market that we'd actually buy up. We'd look to buy that fear once all that had been sold, but I don't think that's the case. Grayscale still seems in touch, and I think actually, you know, with the turn of the new year, we've actually been calling for rallies into the new year. We could potentially see a recovery for Gbtc and potentially not a liquidation, depending on how all this Genesis DCG stuff goes. But maybe they're two separate and not actually that tied in. But the problem, and I think the worry for me, is maybe there is some sort of an overlap there. Well, I've got for you in this video, guys. You enjoyed the content, like is always appreciated. So is a comment, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents.